It's another Indiana Jones reference. I'm Nate, and today let's look at Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 10, Retrieval. In this episode, the Bad Batch seek to get the Havoc Marauder back, and in the process clash with the overlord of an Ipsium mining operation. Written by Moises Zamora, the creator and writer of the Netflix series Selena, Episode 9 was released on February 22, 2023 on Disney+. The episode starts where we left off in the last episode. The guys are still at the abandoned spaceport near Sid's Ipsium mine. It's now the next day, and they are fixing up a broken speeder so they can get to the nearest inhabited city and get off-world. Omega finds some hope when she realizes that she may be able to track Gonki despite the Marauder's tracking device being disabled. She succeeds and discovers that the ship is only 100 kilometers away. Soon the guys have the speeder bike fixed, and they all pile on to go find the ship. Despite all my pontifications about who was behind the theft of the ship, I was dead wrong. The ship was stolen by a kid who lives on the planet and works for Mako, the malevolent dictator of a nearby mining community. The workforce of the community is a bunch of kids, and Mako forces them to compete against each other for food and water. As we've been discussing, the major theme of the season is freedom, and once again we are given an example of a group of people who lack freedom and are enslaved. We've touched on several different types of enslavement, such as being a slave to your own ambition, a slave to your own loyalty, a physical slave, and now we are given an example of people who think they are free but have been fooled into slavery. They do the dirty work of their manipulator, all the while thinking they are going to someday rise to the top. Two things to note here. The first is that this episode most closely relates to the modern-day forms of slavery that we see throughout the world, with human trafficking and sex slavery. The second thing is that the idea of a mine being run by a manipulative overlord who uses children to do his dirty work is very similar to the plot of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Even some of the imagery in the episode, such as the suspension bridge, Mako threatening to throw Omega into the burning hot pit below, and Mako falling from the bridge to his demise, are all images taken from the Temple of Doom. This season we've come across several scenes that wink at the Indiana Jones franchise, so it's cool to see more of it. In this episode, Omega gets to go on a side mission because she fits in better as a kid. She goes with the thief, a boy named Benny Barrow, to the main control room to deactivate the shield. Tech lets her use his tablet in order to patch into the mainframe, and the thing to note here is that it's done in a way that appears as if Omega has used it before. However, it's the first time we've seen it. It's a huge step that shows just how far Omega has gained the trust of the entire squad. In the process of looking for the controls to the shield, Omega finds Mako's financial logs. He's been keeping the majority of the profits for himself and has lied about the quality of the Ipsium in the mine. But it's too late for Omega. Benny already notified Mako, who shows up to capture her. When Mako threatens to throw Omega from the bridge, we see quite possibly one of the coolest action sequences we've seen so far. Hunter pulls out his grappling device and makes eye contact with Omega. Though no words are spoken because of the distance, we know that both Hunter and Omega are on the same page. Hunter shoots the device up to the bridge as Omega leans off and pulls Mako's guard droid down with her. Hunter zips up the line as Omega reaches out for him, and he grabs hold of her, lifting her back to safety. It's cool to see just how in tune the squad has become. In their effort to retrieve the Marauder and save Omega, the guys end up freeing the children of the mine just like Indiana Jones did in the Temple of Doom. We see Benny munching on a whole piece of fruit, and the guys get all their stuff back. Tech notes that Omega looks sad, and she states that the Empire isn't the only threat in the galaxy. They've come across so many bad people like Mako on their journeys. Tech replies that she is correct. However, there are also people out there like the Bad Batch. This is a moment that shows the reality of growing up. Life as a child is often black or white. There is no gray area. Things are good or bad, and sometimes the trust of a child can be used to benefit a manipulator. Exposure to the evils of the world can make a child mature faster than other children, but without good parenting or mentorship, the child's sense of right and wrong can become improperly calibrated. Here we see Omega dealing with the evil of the galaxy that she never saw when she lived on Kamino, and we see the wisdom of the guys guiding her as she processes it. Overall, I thought this episode was decent. It was more than a filler episode as it delved into the theme of the season, freedom, and gave us another example of a threat to freedom. With all of these examples behind us, I think that we are going to start seeing more of the mission to save the clones from the Empire. Thanks for watching, and if you like the content and the deeper discussion into the themes found in Star Wars, Please hit the like button and subscribe to keep me in your feed.